All right, let me check my audio now. Quick audio check. There's some technical difficulties earlier. Also, there's a bad storm that's like kind of tampering with my connection. All right, let me check my audio now. Quick audio check. There's some technical difficulties. All right, so the audio going in and out. But hey, man, let me know if it goes out. Don't have me talking and nobody's hearing me. That's like the worst. All right. Yeah, so we got DJ COONdemics interviewing Kanye West. And let me first disclose that I didn't watch I maybe watched 3 seconds of this because I wanted to make sure it was real, like it wasn't some spoof or skit. So maybe a total 10 seconds. I watched this foolishness, but I was not interested at all in what Kanye had to say. And I was not interested at all in what COONdemics had to say. But from the, reactions, it turns out that people said Kanye West didn't even care about DJ Academics. He had his own agenda, and he just used DJ COONdemics there just to be there for like a fake interview. But he just wanted to spew all of his anti-Semitism and all his anti-FBAism. You dig? Just a bunch of hate that he wanted to spew. Now, I tried to explain this some years ago. So maybe I have new ears now. I can explain. Listen, family. A lot of our talking points, they come from either the Republicans, the far right, or the far left. A lot of our talking points, they come from the far left or the far right. You don't know it because you're not hip to what the far left talking points are or what the far right talking points are. Okay. So, but people who know the talking points, when they hear you speak, they know you're influenced by one of these parties, unbeknownst to you. Okay. So, a lot of our woke people, the Andrew Tates of the world, what's woke people? Woke woke people tend to regurgitate talking points from the far right. Okay. That's just a fact. And there's an extreme side over there. So let me give you a goofy name, Tommy Sotomayor. He likes to talk about things from the far right, but not too far. And let me know if my audio is good. Now, Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit, he definitely borrowed the talking points of the far right, and also Candace Owens. The She borrowed points from the far, far extreme. So Myron Gaines and Candace Owens, they borrowed talking points from the far extreme right. So the extreme right, even like far right conservatives, they don't even agree with far right extremists. So like the Jared Taylors, the Nick Fuentes, these are like an outright racist that's like not afraid to say they're racist or to spew racism. They're most likely far right extremists. So Candace Owens and Myron Gaines, they regurgitate talking points from the far right extremists. Not so much Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor, he regurgitate just simple far right talking points, but not the extreme. Okay, so the extreme talking points sound like this: Black folks, what about black on black crime? Uh, Black folks, this is what they say. This is one of Myron Gaines' main talking points. And I want y'all to hear this. Tiger, the Watcher, Claw, some of y'all are very intelligent. This is Myron's main talking point, and I want to hear y'all rebuttal because I'm working on some stuff to like annihilate him. So he'll say this. He'll say, okay. Oh, by the way, I fell asleep last night, Tiger. I fell asleep. That's why y'all ain't. I was not on mute. I was knocked out. So anyway, Myron Gaines would say this. Well, he's borrowing this from the extremist far right talking point. He'll say, let me know if my audio's good. Myron Gaines said this. He said, well, this is why chaotic truth, Myron Gaines, they don't really subscribe to, and chaotic truth also borrow talking points from the far right extremists. Okay. So they will say something like this. They will say, and they'll add their own twist to it. They'll say, okay, well, if white supremacy was so real, if systemic racism was so real, to explain this phenomenon. Okay, when you were quote unquote oppressed under white supremacy, aka systemic racism, or they're really different, but some people ignorantly use them interchangeably. So I'll just say both. So they'll say, okay, if white supremacy is real and if systemic racism is real, then explain this phenomenon. Why was black marriages 66% and higher? And by the way, chat, this is a trivial fact for you or a Snapple fact for you that our marriages during Jim Crow were higher than white Americans. So our collective marriage rates were higher than white American collective rates. So that means anybody who assimilated, it could be Germans or whoever, whatever immigrant that adopted the term white, we had a higher marriage rate than them. Okay, than them. So Myron Gaines would say, well, if systemic racism is real, if white supremacy is real and it's so bad and it's so oppressive, then explain under that oppressive quote unquote, you can't see me, so I'm doing the quotation fingers. So they'll say, explain under that oppression, how were you able to maintain marriages? And once that oppression was released in 1968, you know, the 1964, the Civil Rights Act, why did your marriages go to 33%? So you went from 66 wedded under Jim Crow oppression, but once that was gone, you went to 66% unwedded. So it looks like you guys maintained the household, the family structure. You were more family oriented under extreme quote unquote white supremacy or systemic racism. Once that was relieved from you, you would think your marriages will go higher, but it actually flipped. So you went from 66% wedded to 66% unwedded. And most people have a problem coming up with uh, an answer, a rebuttal to that. Yeah, so yeah, mainly because I lay down, Tiger. When I lay down and try to talk, it's over, and I know better. But I got comfortable. I was out. Listen, if you don't hear me for like 5 minutes, I'm either muted or asleep. So anyway, that is their main talking point, what I just explained. So a lot of FBAs or people, period. It could be a FBA supporter, it could be a white person or anybody, when they have a hard time making sense of the 66% marriages under severe oppression. And then when that oppression was relieved, you went to 66% unwedded. So with living under systemic racial oppression, you maintain a high marriage rate, but living away from systemic racism oppression, you were unmarried, unwedded at the same percentage. So that's their main talking point. Okay, that catches people off guard. So people don't really have a good answer or good rebuttal to that, and they get stuck. Okay, so let me start off with this right here. So if y'all got a rebuttal, put it in the chat because I'm sure when I call in Myron, they're gonna bring that up. Well, I'm gonna force them to, because again, I'm very strategic. I'm very tactful. So I'm going to walk them into that. So I already, so based upon what he say, I got a rebuttal, and then I'm gonna walk him into his. So when he start losing one of those points, he's gonna walk into one of those backup points to save him, and I got him there too. Okay, and I got him there, and so I'm gonna walk him to all of his hardest talking points, and I predict he's gonna be quiet, or he might just go on a whole Tariq rant. Well, Tariq's a piece of. So I predict he's either gonna go quiet, and I'm just gonna be talking like freely for like 5, 10 minutes before he kick me off, or he's gonna go on a yeah, he's gonna go on a whole Tariq rant about how much Tariq is no good. So either one of those two, I'm preparing for. All right, so let's start off with this.
What is ethnogenesis? Ethnogenesis is the process by which a group of people develops a unique identity, distinct from their ancestral origins. This can happen through migration, intermixing of cultures, shared historical experiences, and adaptation to new environments.
All right, so this is gonna be an interesting live because I'm gonna deal with a lot of what is this? Okay, so I'm gonna deal with a lot of information. So you got oh, okay. Now here we go. I got this got the headphones working. I wonder if I unplug them, will I still be able to hear? Let's see. Let's see. So hopefully I can still talk to you guys. Let's see. So you got oh, okay. Now all right, it looks like it's working. Okay, it's a bad storm right now. It's like a severe thunderstorm watch. So I went out live earlier and the connection went crazy. So hopefully my connection is good throughout. Let me see. Did I buy anything to snack on? I ate earlier today, but I'm like slightly hungry and I don't want to cook. Oh yeah, yeah. I bought these French toast sticks, so that'll work. So hopefully Kwame pull up. Okay. Anyway, shall we proceed? All right, so I'm going to touch on some things. All right. Let me touch on. Oh, okay. So let's touch on this haplogroup thing with Europeans. Okay, because people will come to us and say, "Hey, man, you're African." Like we ever deny that, but you're African, so call you. Like I don't even know why they like. What are they? Do they believe we think we're not African at all in any sense? Or do they want us to just call ourselves African? Like I'm like unsure of their talking point. But anyway, when they go to the haplogroups, let me just real quickly explain that some white people you're looking at and you say, yo, he's the devil or he's white. Some of those people, their haplogroup sends them right to Africa. Okay. Central, northern, southern, western, eastern, right to Africa. There's a lot of white people cosplaying as, no, I'm sorry, there's a lot of African people, haplogroups who are African. There's a lot of white people who got African origins and don't know it. Their earliest father was African. Their earliest mother was, or their earliest mother was African. But here's the hypocrisy. Which one of these tethers gonna look at this white person who's always identified as white, got white children, got a white mother, white grandfather, who's gonna look at them and say, "You're African. You need to claim your African ancestry." You're not. You're gonna be comfortable with calling that person white. But the truth is, a lot of white people, well, not a lot, but there's some white folks out there who've been white their whole life. Their grandfather is white, their father is white, their great grandfather is white, and their haplogroup goes back to Africa, just like ours. So it's rumored that J. Edgar Hoover is one of those folks. So now, which one of these Pan Africanists, coons, are going to look at J. Edgar Hoover and say, "Nah, you need to claim your African ancestry"? They're not going to do that. Okay, they're going to cherry pick, and that's what makes myself different from them. I don't cherry pick. I'm unbiased. Anybody can get it. So I explained that, so therefore I ain't got to play it. Okay, so basically you can't look at somebody and automatically say that person haplogroup is something. You don't know. You got to actually see their results to make that determination. So that's what I was trying to hit on with the one brother who was going to the whole haplogroup. It's like, yo, you're trying to tell us that our haplogroup goes to Africa, but you actually don't know. Like you're just guessing. You really don't know. All right. Because some of us black folks can have a white ain't early ancestor, father or mother. Yeah, so you have some black folks. That's why it's like silly. I don't understand their angle when they do the whole haplogroup thing. It's yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand, they got to be more clear why they're presenting this to us. Are you believing that we're denying our African ancestry, our origins, or are you mad that we don't identify ourselves as African, but rather, Black American, freed Black Americans, or foundational, or American descendants of slaves? So I got to just ask somebody flat out next time. Okay, so let me get to where I want to go to. So I got some interesting things to bring out tonight once I get a chance. Okay. So we went over A. Philip Randolph. Oh, I want to get to Paul Cuffee. So in his hatred, right? Well, I say hatred, but I'll say he's trolling. And his trollism, he actually put me on some things, which I understand better than him now. So he put me on Allen and he put me on Paul Cuffee. Thank you. Because now I'm even harder on Marcus Garvey. Because Paul Cuffee he's FBA and he did it the right way. So Thomas Jefferson descendants, I think most of us understand that live in this country, FBA for sure, understand that Thomas Jefferson's descendants they had they mixed with black, African. So the genetic markers found was EM2, uh, a subclade of haplogroup E1B1A, commonly found in African populations. This is Thomas Jefferson descendants. Okay. Yeah, because the slave masters had, they had they went into, African women and they had babies. And a lot of those babies were mulatto and some of them went from that point they went only white. And 200, 300 years later, you got white babies. but their origins, they come from a black mother. And you got a lot of black folks coming from that stock. And, 200, 300 years later, you look back, their father was white. So that's why it's like weird to say, hey, you're African based off this. Yeah, but what if your father that popped it all off was Thomas Jefferson? Now what? Because haplogroups, from what I understand, you could only choose one or the other. You can't do both. So if you do it from your father, it's going to say European, one of these European countries. Well, we're black as midnight. So it's like, so now what? That's why it doesn't. And we know the slave masters went into many, many um, African women. So it's like, so what are we doing? Like, come on. Like it gets goofy after a while. All right. So I've been watching some of Myron debates because I plan on cooking them. But I like to study my opponent, and I'm gonna play some chess later on. And anybody, and I could show you, I could refer and show you what websites to use to learn how to play chess the easiest way possible. Okay, because again, I taught 6-year-olds. I got 6-year-olds who won first place trophies amongst like 10-year-olds. So if I could teach a 6-year-old, your old ass can learn. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm here. Paul Cuffee and Richard Allison. I keep saying Byron Allen, the billionaire. Okay, so Richard Allen's Back to Africa campaign. Okay, so let me just get that ready. And let's cook on this. We're gonna cook on a whole bunch of different things, but let's start with this. So we're gonna cook on a bunch of things. So I'm gonna start right here. Yeah, so he gave me Paul Cuffee. That was a bad thing. Now I'm gonna show how Marcus Garvey was supposed to do it. Paul, and yeah, Paul, and I learned a lot from my debates. So I win the debate and I still get their information, which makes me even stronger the next time somebody like themselves debate me. And that, truth be told, that's how I got so, knowledgeable from debating. And my opponents giving me information that I didn't have before that weaponized me, made me stronger for the next guy. Oh, wait.
Paul
Okay, I could do it.
Paul Cuffee and Richard Allen's Back to Africa campaign. Paul Cuffee and Richard Allen were two key figures in early black American efforts to establish settlements in Africa, though they had distinct approaches and motivations. Below is a breakdown of their roles in the Back to Africa movement, their status as freedmen, and the means by which they sought to relocate black Americans to Africa. Paul Cuffee, 1759 to 1817, and his Back to Africa efforts. Was Paul Cuffee free? Yes, Paul Cuffee was born free in Massachusetts in 1759. His father, Kofi Slocum, was a formerly enslaved African who had purchased his freedom, and his mother was a Native American woman.
So he was mixed.
How did he come up with the idea? As a wealthy ship owner, businessman, and abolitionist, Cuffee believed that free black people in America
Free
faced
black people,
systemic
not
racism
enslaved.
and limited opportunities. He saw colonization in Africa as a way to establish self-sufficient black communities free from white oppression. His inspiration for colonization came from his interactions with black leaders who felt African Americans would never receive full equality in the US, his Quaker beliefs in racial justice and self-determination, British efforts in Sierra Leone, where freed black people from Nova Scotia and London were settling. How did he help black Americans return to Africa? Cuffee used his own money and ships to transport black
His own money
settlers
and
to
shit,
Sierra Leone.
Marcus Garvey. He didn't seek
In
donations from fake stock.
1815, he personally financed and organized a voyage that took 38 black Americans from the US
He
to
didn't
Sierra
scam.
Leone, making him the
Only
first person
38.
to carry out an
The
organized
dude lied
Back
and
to
said
Africa
4,000.
movement. He met with US and British officials to gain support, though the US government largely ignored his efforts. His plan was for black Americans to create prosperous trade networks between Africa and the Americas. However, Cuffee died in 1817, and his efforts were cut short.
Wasn't this Kwame who
Richard
said
Allen,
this?
1760 to 1831,
Hmm?
and his role in the movement. Was Richard Allen free?
Typical people.
Richard Allen was born into slavery in Pennsylvania in 1760. He bought his freedom in 1780 and became a prominent religious leader. How did he come up with the idea? As the founder of the African
Yes,
Methodist
blue.
Episcopal AME Church, Allen was deeply invested in improving conditions for black Americans. However, he was skeptical about mass emigration to Africa. His interest in colonization was influenced by the
Okay.
American Colonization
So somebody put a
Society,
bug in the air,
which
and
was
it
founded
was
in
the white
1816
man
by white elites and
who
some
had this
black
back to
leaders
Africa
to
idea.
relocate
The
freed
white
black
man.
Americans to Africa. The growing oppression of free black people in the
So
US, including
Pan-Africanism
laws
was
restricting
a
their
white
rights.
man idea.
Did Allen actively help black Americans move to Africa? Unlike Cuffee, Allen did not personally send people to Africa, but he initially supported the idea. He attended meetings about colonization, but soon opposed the American Colonization Society, believing that black Americans should fight for equality in the US instead of leaving. Key differences between Paul Cuffee and Richard Allen's approach. Aspect. Yes, used as Allen. Born free? Yes, no. Freed in 1780. Supported Back to Africa movement? Yes, initially, but later opposed it. Personally helped blacks return to Africa? Yes, used his own ships and money. No, but discussed colonization ideas. Involvement in Sierra Leone? Personally financed and led a voyage. Did not participate directly. View on US black future? Believed Africa offered a better future. Believed black Americans should fight for equality in the US. Conclusion. Paul Cuffee was the first to organize and finance a Back to Africa movement, believing that black Americans could find prosperity in Africa. In contrast, Richard Allen was initially open to the idea but ultimately rejected colonization, arguing that black Americans had a right to remain in the
A
US and
right
fight for
to
full
fight,
citizenship.
not flee.
While Cuffee made a direct impact with his voyage to Sierra Leone, Allen's greatest influence was in advocating for black Americans' rights within the US.
All right. So Kwame, I think that was Kwame. So this what happens. This is a learning lesson that you guys gotta realize. Do not wing it with me. Do not research stuff on the fly and try to debate me. It ain't gonna work out. So this guy randomly had Googled Paul Cuffee and Richard Allen and didn't understand what they did. He said Paul Cuffee got 4,000 folks over to Africa, somewhere in there. Straight lie, 38 people. All right. So he thought there was 4,000 free, black free. Okay. So that was interesting. Wait. Okay, go sit down. Go. Yeah, so that was ammunition for me, right? Not him. So he took the L on that. His information was completely wrong. And then Richard Allen was pressured by the ACS, the American Colonization Society. They were on that Back to Africa. So I can argue the Back to Africa, the Pan Africanist idea spawned from white people because Paul Cuffee, even though he's the first that we know, go. He only got 38 people. Go click it. What are you doing? Okay, leave it then. So he only got 38 people, but the ACS, they got 12,000. All right. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, he woke up, so he's on his old crying thing right now. All right. Okay. So now let me do this right here.
The American Colonization Society, ACS, 1816 to 1865. Founded in 1816 by a mix of white abolitionists and slaveholders, the ACS aimed to relocate freed black people to Africa. They received funding from the U.S. government, as well as private donors, to establish Liberia in 1822 as a colony for freed black Americans. Between 1822 and 1867, the ACS transported about 12,000 black Americans to Liberia.
So as you can see, that Paul Cuffee only convinced 38 uh, black Americans to flee the country. But the ACS, the American Colonization Society, the white man got those got Liberia popping. All right. So and so when they bring up Liberia, we know, at least people who come here, we know going further that it was the white man who convinced these black people to become Liberians. And they did it not out of love. They did it because they feared that these free black men would inspire other enslaved black men to buy themselves out of slavery. So you see, at some point, the white man agreed to his own rules. It's like kind of weird, like because we know that he broke treaties and they'll lie here and do that, but it's I don't know who can explain it, but sometimes they honor their word, right? So now Paul Cuffee, okay, I'm not done with him. All right, you're about to learn something about Paul Cuffee because it said this about him. Okay, it said this. It said Paul Cuffee. I always do better research than um, any of my ops. But it said Paul Cuffee. Hold on, I got this quote. It said Paul Cuffee purchased his freedom. So I'm like, okay. And then it said this to me. It said he was a wealthy ship owner, businessman, abolitionist. So I'm like, wealthy? You dig? In the 1700s, what did he do? Right? What did he do for income? Okay, so this is how McCook, Myron, Gaines, and whoever else try to call back in. If Chaotic Truth ever win a rematch, it's gonna be worse. Okay, so what did Paul Cuffey do to get all this damn money? Like Flora and Good Times. JJ, where did you get all this money? Let me see if I can find that clip. Nat Turner, peace, man. All right, I appreciate y'all pulling up on Monday. But again, man, I'm gonna need my supporters. I know I'm being shadow banned, so everybody's not getting the message, the notifications, but we're gonna need people to pull up so I can get these guys over here. I just contacted Herman Smalls because he was on Sinetta TV talking real slick about FBAs and ADOS. So I inboxed him on Facebook directly. Hey man, let me get that fade. Let me get that um Let me get that 1v1. What's her name on Good Times? Her name is Flora. Yeah, mothers, please stop doing TikToks with your daughters, man. I should just like you are creating something. I hate seeing that. Okay, let me see if I can find. Oh, we put Good Times. I gotta find this kid. Tariq, now she had it, and I should have just clipped it. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. I don't think. Yes, I might just gotta go ahead and find that video. Damn. Who knows what that video? He got like 1,000 videos. Who knows which one that's in? Let me try this. Let me try Google. Damn. I thought it was JJ. It's James Evans? Hmm. Oh, yeah, I know he's definitely pocket dialing me. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. I think I found it. It was James. It was the dad. It wasn't the JJ. Give me a second. They gotta put some ads playing. But we want to know, where did Paul Cuffee get all this money? Now, keep in mind, this is the 1700s. This is like the early 1800s. I don't think the Haitian Revolution even happened.
Oh, they probably gave him a big cash advance. But why in the world would they do that? Oh, I don't know why, and what's the
All
difference?
right, so I'm trying to get there.
Company's name?
Yes, yes. What do they have on your paycheck?
What was it?
Name? Like I said, Ma, from my,
Devil, did you really get all this
There we
money?
go.
How you like it?
All right, JJ. Where the devil did you really get all this money?
What was it? All right, let me flip that.
You heard what I said.
Like I said, Ma, from my, advertising job.
And that's all you said. You really get JJ. Where the devil did... All right, JJ. Where the devil did you really get all this money? What? You heard what I said.
Like I said, Ma,
All right.
from my,
All right, JJ. Where the devil did you really get all this money? What? You heard what I said.
like I said, Ma, from my...
All right, JJ. Where the devil did you really get all this money? What? You heard what I said.
like I said, Ma, from my...
All right, JJ.
All right, my fault. I was fixing my son.
All right, JJ. You heard what I said. All right, JJ. Where the devil did you really get all this money? What? You heard what I said. All right, JJ. Where the devil did you really get all this money? What? You You heard what I said. All right, JJ. Where the...
I
You
got it.
heard what I said.
Like I said, Ma, from...
What do they have on your paycheck? Who are your clients?
Well, lovers.
J-
All I do is take a couple of bets on horses and numbers. Animal lovers.
Giants.
Well, Michael, we needed the TV show about our...
Quit school?
All right. Okay. So anyway, we got it. I got the clip. All right. Oh, Florida. I said Florida. All right. So Florida. All right. I kind of thought it was. I'm like, anyway, her name. Okay. But you got it though. You got it though. Where did you get all this money? So we want to know, since she said we're in the devil, you get all this money. So when I was researching Paul Cuffee, I was like, hey man, we're in the devil. He get all this money. So I looked it up. And look what I found. I got some good information too, because we're going to really get into the numbers of how many Black immigrants were in this country uh, around Ellis Island. But, no, actually before Ellis Island, because I already know it's like 100,000 and it's 20,000 in it's 100,000 Ellis Island Black immigrants, 20,000 in Florida, and like 10,000 in Massachusetts or 5,000. It got smaller and smaller. Okay, but I got the numbers, and I got the numbers. All right, Tone got the numbers. Now I got the clips, but now I got the numbers. All right, I got the numbers. All right, and as you know, around Emancipation Proclamation, Black Americans, like, we made up the country, as far as Black people. So you're going to see what percentage did any Black immigrants make during right after slavery and before Ellis Island. All right, and we got some numbers here. Okay, because people like to over exaggerate. No, when I talked to Brother Reggie, he was acting like there's more Black immigrants than they were, and it's just like ridiculous that people got to lie to kick it. There was a song called "You Ain't Got It," where the hook was, "You ain't got to lie to kick it." Okay, but I got you. I got you. So it's about the truth, right? What I don't avoid is the truth. So I'm either right or I'm wrong. So when my ops come on here, they debate me. Sometimes they be right about some points. What do? I add it to my arsenal. They weaponize me. I don't weaponize them. They leave here a bigger fool. I leave here, but I leave that discussion smarter than I came. All right, so let's go. Let's go. I said I'm gonna be ping ponging tonight. All right, I'm gonna be ping ponging.
In 1865, at the end of the Civil War and the beginning of Reconstruction, the vast majority of Black Americans were concentrated in the southern United States. Hajj estimated percentage of Black Americans in the North versus South, 1865. Southern states, approximately 90% of all Black Americans lived in the South. Northern states, about 10% of
That
Black
sounds like
Americans lived in
100%
the
to
North.
me.
This overwhelming Southern concentration was due to the legacy of slavery, as most enslaved Africans had been forced to labor on plantations in the South before emancipation. Black immigrants in the U.S. in 1865. There was a small number of Black immigrants in the U.S.
This
at
is just
this
history,
time,
and
but
I'm
they
not going
made
to
up a very
apologize for
tiny
history.
fraction of the total Black population. Immigration from Africa had been largely halted due to the U.S. banning the transatlantic slave trade in 1808, However, some black immigrants came from the Caribbean, West Indies, and Canada. Countries of origin and locations in the U.S. Caribbean, West Indies. The largest group of black immigrants at the time came from places like Jamaica, Haiti, and Barbados. They primarily settled in New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, working in domestic service, shipping, and
So
manual
this is
labor.
before Ellis
Canada.
Island.
Some black people who had escaped slavery via the Underground Railroad returned to the U.S. after the Civil War, particularly settling in Michigan, Ohio, and New York. Africa, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. A very small number of black Americans who had previously emigrated to Liberia
But how small?
returned to
You'll
the
see.
U.S. Occupations of black immigrants in 1865.
What were they doing?
Sailors and dock workers, particularly West Indians in port cities like New York and Boston. Domestic workers, cooks, servants, nannies in upper-class homes. Farm laborers, some settled in southern states and worked alongside freedmen.
Uh-oh.
Skilled tradesmen, blacksmiths, carpenters,
So you
barbers.
see, freedmen's
Preachers
interchangeable
and
with black
educators.
Americans.
Some West Indians were
So
involved
Brother
in black
Reggie lied.
churches
I
and
want Brother
schools.
Reggie. I want Brother Reggie back.
How
in.
long did they stay? Many Caribbean immigrants remained permanently in cities like New York and Boston, but where they formed small but significant communities. Some returned to the Caribbean due to economic struggles in the U.S.
It wasn't a
Black
powerhouse then.
Canadians who moved back to the U.S. after the Civil War generally stayed, integrating into existing black American communities. Conclusion. While the overwhelming majority of black Americans in 1865 were native-born and concentrated in the South, a small number of black immigrants from the Caribbean and Canada lived in northern port cities, mainly working in manual labor, domestic service, and skilled trades. Their presence was minor compared to the millions of freedmen in the South,
Minor.
but they contributed to the early foundations of northern black communities.
Northern black communities. Okay. All right. Let's go a little further. See, it's about the whole truth over here. I don't want to be responsible for an FBA angle. No, I have no angles. We just full disclosure. You dig? Full disclosure, full transparency.
Percentage of Caribbean-born black people in the U.S. in 1865. The total U.S. population in 1865 was about 35 million, with about 4.4 million black Americans,
Okay.
most of whom were formerly enslaved.
Right.
The number of Caribbean-born black immigrants in the U.S. at that time was extremely small, estimated to be well under 1% of the black
Under
population,
1%.
probably between 0.1% and 0.5%.
Wow.
Or roughly 4,000 to 20,000.
It could have been 4,000 or 20,000. That's
For
very
comparison,
small.
the black American population was
Yeah.
around 4.4 million. Caribbean-born black immigrants were a few thousand at most.
Few thousand.
This means they made up less than 1 out of every 200 black people in America. How were they treated? 1. Did they face the same discrimination as black Americans?
Yes.
Yes. Caribbean-born black immigrants were racially classified as black and faced the same racial discrimination as black Americans.
Black.
Jim Crow laws, segregation, and racial violence applied to them just as much as they did to native-born black Americans.
But watch this.
2. Were they treated differently? In some cases, yes,
Uh-oh.
but this depended on location and circumstances.
Doesn't matter.
In northern cities, New York, Boston,
Watch
and
this.
Philadelphia, some Caribbean immigrants distinguished themselves from native-born black Americans, socially and culturally,
Oh.
seeing themselves as different due to their British colonial
Oh, yeah.
background,
I'm not black like
education,
y'all.
or lighter skin tone.
And
However,
lighter skin
white
tone. You
Americans
see that,
generally
right?
did not recognize these
These
distinctions
were
and
mixed
group them
breeds.
together with black Americans.
Little mulattoes.
In the South, West Indians were virtually indistinguishable from native-born black Americans and were subject to the same racial hierarchy and discrimination. Caribbean black population in specific U.S. locations. New York, the largest Caribbean community, probably a few thousand.
Few thousand.
Boston, a small but notable presence. Philadelphia, some Caribbean migrants settled here, especially those connected to seafaring work. Southern U.S., very few Caribbean immigrants lived in the South outside of
Very
port
few,
cities
told
like
you.
Charleston.
They were
Why
not
were
in
their
the
numbers
South.
so small? The U.S. was not a major destination for Caribbean migration in the early
Goofies.
1800s.
Oh, the white man wanted
Most
us over
Caribbean
here.
migration occurred after 1900. The British-controlled Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, etc., had tighter immigration controls. The Caribbean economy still had opportunities for black people in trade, farming, and skilled labor, so there was less incentive to leave in large numbers. Conclusion. Caribbean-born black immigrants were
So
a
they had
tiny
it popping where
fraction
they
of the
were at.
black population in the US in 1865, making up likely less than 0.5% of black people in the country.
Less than 0.5%.
Though they had distinct cultural backgrounds, they were ultimately treated the same as black Americans under US racial laws and discrimination.
There you go. Full transparency over here. We don't hide anything. We accept the good, the bad, and the ugly as far as agendas. All right. But hold on. We're not done because we keep hearing about Louisiana. Oh, nah. I keep hearing about Louisiana. It's like the Caribbean. Oh, we the Haitians and okay. I heard you. I heard you. But what is the research? What does the survey says? I heard what you got to say. But what does the survey says in regards to that? Okay. Are y'all interested in this? What the survey says? So I'm gonna go over Louisiana history. Who owned it first? Who owned it second? And who purchased it for the United States? And what influence did it have? Because we hear about all this Haitian stuff and Caribbean stuff and Spanish stuff. Well, let's get to who really influenced this. Did I really do that? Let's get to who really influenced Louisiana the most. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. To some degree, you won't be, because you already understand that Black Americans played a large role on the culture of Louisiana. So you won't be surprised at that. But you'll be surprised to who didn't play a large role and who did outside of FBAs. Okay? That's what I mean. So give me a second. And let's get to it. All right. Let's get to it.
The formation and influences of Louisiana, an exhaustive breakdown. Early founding of Louisiana. Louisiana's origins date back to the late 17th century, when it was founded by the French. In 1682, René Robert Cavelier Sieur de la Salle claimed the vast Mississippi River basin for France, naming it La Louisiane,
No more
in honor
lies.
of King Louis XIV. The territory included modern-day Louisiana, as well as much of the central United States.
Okay, so our reader, sometimes it glitches. We shall move on.
The region was influenced by several major European powers over time.
Okay.
France, 1682 to 1762, 1800 to 1803. Initial claim, settlement, and cultural foundation. Spain, 1762 to 1800. Controlled Louisiana after France ceded it post-7 Years' War. France, 1800 to 1803. Napoleon regained Louisiana briefly before selling it to the U.S. United States, 1803, present. Louisiana was purchased as part of the Louisiana Purchase.
Okay. Interesting. Shall we go on? Who purchased it and who sold
The
it?
Louisiana
And why?
Purchase, 1803. The U.S. under Thomas Jefferson bought the Louisiana Territory from France for $15 million, about 828,000 square miles. France sold Louisiana mainly due to financial strains from the Napoleonic Wars and the Haitian Revolution, 1791 to 1804, which made maintaining a French empire in North America less feasible.
Yeah, ready?
Ethnic and cultural influences on Louisiana by percentage. French influence 40%. Language, Cajun and Creole French. Architecture, French Quarter, plantations. Catholicism and traditions like Mardi Gras. African influence 30%. Enslaved Africans brought
Which
West
is us.
African traditions.
Us.
Created Louisiana Creole culture, music, jazz, and food, gumbo, jambalaya. Spanish influence 15%. Spanish ruled Louisiana 1762 to 1800, adding Iberian elements to architecture. Spanish laws, including coartation, self-purchase of enslaved people, shaped Louisiana's free black population. Indigenous influence 5%. Choctaw, Homa, and Natchez contributed words, foods, and local trade systems. German and Irish influence 5%. Germans settled along German coast, introduced farming techniques. Irish laborers worked on infrastructure and levees. Other European and Caribbean influences 5%.
5%.
Haitians, Cubans, and other Caribbean peoples, especially after the Haitian Revolution, brought Vodou, Creole culture, and food traditions.
5%. Okay, so the lies they have to stop. Okay. All right. So yes, we're gonna tackle the Harlem Renaissance because people capping about who helped influence or not help. I'm sorry, bad choice of words. About the influence on the Harlem Renaissance. Certain people, certain ethnicities get too much credit. So let's tackle that next. You don't mind, do ya? Okay, here we are. Let's go.
The formation and influences of Louisiana, an exhaustive breakdown. Early founding of Louisiana. Louisiana's origins date back to the late 17th century when it was founded by the French. In 1682, René Robert Cavelier, Sieur de la Salle, claimed the vast Mississippi River basin for France, naming it La Louisiane in honor of King Louis XIV.
Okay,
The territory included modern-day Louisiana, as well as much of the central United States.
all right.
The region was influenced.
Okay, I gotta see. Where is he reading from? All right. Okay, so we're off. We're off cue. So let the ladies first. Let her read. Cause I'm off cue with the man. Plus, I can control her. I could pause her. I can't pause him.
The Harlem Renaissance, an exhaustive breakdown by influence percentage. The Harlem Renaissance, 1910s, 1930s, was a cultural, artistic, and intellectual movement that reshaped Black American identity. It centered in Harlem,
Black
New York,
American
but influenced
identity.
the entire country.
Okay. Okay. Well, who were the major contributors? Okay. Let's go with that. So we're gonna shut the lies down and deal with history.
Black American artists,
Oh.
writers, and intellectuals, 60%.
We were the majority. Okay, so I can stop it right there. Okay, I think see it's kind of they read the bullet points differently. All right. I might need a guy to read. I need him to read the damn thing. What is he reading? Oh, okay, he's starting from the top. Damn, so I can't control. I got it. I can't. He got to start from the tippy top. So I can't control what he reads. All right, I can't. I don't know how to make him read in the middle. He got to always start from the top. And we're getting names.
Literature and poetry. Langston Hughes, most iconic poet of the movement.
FBA.
Zora Neale Hurston, folklorist and author of Their Eyes Were Watching God.
FBA.
Claude McKay wrote If We Must Die, advocating resistance.
Okay. Thank you. Paul Robeson. I got to do something on him.
Visual arts. Aaron Douglas, father of African American art.
African American.
Music and jazz. Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Bessie Smith revolutionized jazz and blues. Theater. Paul Robeson, actor and activist.
That was 60%. Okay. Let's go to 20%. Look at the names that I brought to the community.
Black American activists and political thinkers, 20%. W.E.B.
Not
Du
that
Bois
name.
advocated for the talented 10th. Marcus Garvey
Not that name.
promoted Black self-determination and Pan-Africanism. A. Philip
That
Randolph, Union leader, founded the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters.
Okay. So now we'll get to the West Indian and Caribbean immigrants. All right. At 10% influence of the Harlem Renaissance.
West Indian and Caribbean immigrants, 10%. Claude McKay, Jamaican-born, wrote poetry on Black struggle. C.L.R. James, Trinidadian, was a major political theorist.
Okay. So we can stop the cat. No more after tonight.
Jewish and white patrons and allies, 5%. White publishers and patrons like Carl Van Vechten helped promote Black artists.
Thank you.
The NAACP and white progressives assisted in publishing and funding.
Thank you.
Women's contributions, 5%. Writers like Nella Larson explored race and identity.
Thank you.
Alan Locke, Harvard's first Black Rhodes Scholar, promoted Black artists.
Thank you. Thank you. And let's just finish it off.
Summary.
Oh, okay. All right. Whatever.
Louisiana was shaped by French, Spanish,
Thank you.
African, indigenous, and Caribbean cultures, with each leaving a distinct mark. The Harlem
African is us.
Renaissance was primarily led by Black Americans, 60%, with significant influences from West Indians, 10%, white patrons, 5%, and Black political thinkers, 20%. Would you like a deeper dive into any specific aspect? How did
No.
Paul Cuffee become wealthy?
There we go.
How Paul Cuffee became wealthy.
This was next.
Paul Cuffee, 1759 to
Where'd you get all that
1817,
money?
was a successful African American and Native American entrepreneur, sea captain, and abolitionist who amassed considerable wealth despite racial barriers. His wealth came from multiple ventures, primarily in maritime trade,
Hard work.
shipbuilding, and land ownership.
Land ownership.
Below is a
on
breakdown
that.
of how he built his fortune.
Focus on land
1.
ownership.
Maritime trade and shipbuilding, primary source of wealth. Cuffee started his maritime career in the
Marcus
late
Garvey.
1770s by
Take
working
notes.
on whaling and cargo ships. By the 1780s, he built his own ships,
Uh-oh.
becoming one of the first Black Americans to own a shipping fleet.
Mm.
He engaged in international trade,
Black American.
shipping goods between New England, the Caribbean, Europe, and even Africa. He made profits by transporting lumber, rum, tobacco, whale oil,
1770s.
and manufactured goods.
1770s.
Key achievements in shipping. Owned and operated his own fleet of trading vessels, which was rare for a Black man during that era.
Wow.
Built a lucrative business exporting American goods and bringing back imports from other regions.
hmm
By the early 1800s, his fleet had multiple ships,
Wow.
allowing him to dominate trade routes.
Wow.
2. Land ownership
1770s.
and farming. Cuffee purchased 116 acres of farmland in Massachusetts in the
Massachusetts.
1780s. He farmed and sold agricultural goods to supplement his income. His land and estate were considered wealthy by the standards of the time. 3. Fishing and whaling industry. He
Mhm.
expanded into the whaling industry,
was
which was a
thorough.
profitable business in Massachusetts. Whale oil was in high demand, and Cuffee capitalized on this market. He also engaged in fishing, supplying fish to local markets. 4. Banking and community investments. He co-founded the first African-American-owned mutual aid society in New Bedford, Massachusetts. He provided financial assistance to Black communities and promoted education. Helped establish schools for Black children, which was uncommon for the time. 5. Trade with Sierra Leone and African colonization efforts. In 1811, he used his own money to finance a voyage to Sierra Leone, supporting a colony for freed Black people. He invested heavily in African American emigration and trade with Africa. His financial ventures in Africa were motivated by both business opportunities and humanitarian goals. Conclusion: Paul Cuffee became wealthy through a combination of shipbuilding, maritime trade, land ownership, whaling, and investments. He was a pioneer for Black entrepreneurship, proving that despite systemic racial barriers, a determined and skilled businessman could build generational wealth. His legacy not only impacted African American economic empowerment, but also early African colonization efforts.
Okay. So this is what I commit to memory when I call in to Myrons, right? Because you never know how deep I gotta go in. All right. But again, research is about asking the right questions, right? You gotta ask it's the right questions. All right. Paul Cuffee, where did you get all that money? Hey, so what's up? Y'all like that information? Cuffee was Tiger said, "Sheesh, I could and would tell anyone that Caribbeans, Black folk, e.g., the Boomers and early Gen Xers, were quick to let you know they are suggesting to whom they are not." Hey, I got some dates for you. Can you guys politely just click the like button? That's important. That's what gets my videos in random people feeds, right? People like Kwame, KB, Chaotic Truth. These people find my channel because you like the video. Likes are more important than subscriptions, by the way. Okay, yeah, Cuffy was balling, Nat. Hey, what's going on, lead? Um, yeah. Nat said Florida want to get it. She did not want to leave the ghetto. Yeah, she wanted to stay right there. But listen, man, here's a Snapple fact. Snapple fact. Hey, Tiger, you might not even know this one. Black Americans do not collect welfare. Welfare is literally reserved for white women and immigrants. Okay. Black Americans rarely ever collected welfare. I gotta say this. I've been saying this for a minute. I worked in housing. I work in housing. I work in housing. I work in low income housing. Everybody's Black American. Nobody's on welfare, but they're all in low income housing. They're barely working. They're poor. They got hella kids, hella baby daddies, but nobody's on welfare. Okay. So now I'm going to explain later. But all of this is weaponizing me to cook Myron Gaines and the Nick Fuentes and the Jared Tellers, which again, to get Jared Teller, I'm gonna need you guys. I mean, not you guys. I'm gonna need more. You all gotta like the video, but because before the suspension, this channel was skyrocketing, but I always get some type of setback, so it doesn't discourage me because I'm used to it now. But before the suspension in late February, shit, man, I'll probably be at 300 live viewers right now. So whoever's stuck with me, you gotta like the video. This is gonna help it go into other people live feeds and they'll click it. Okay. And we'll be back. But I don't like to debate small fries. I will use them as an example, like Kwame and KD and Chris and the other guys. Those are the small fries, but they all help me. I ain't gonna lie though, they all help me become greater because they all said something that piqued my interest that want me to research later, and it weaponized me. They don't understand that. All right, they don't understand that. So Paul Cuffee, man, yo, yeah. All right, so now y'all want to know about Black Wall Street? Tulsa, Oklahoma, Durham, North Carolina, and Rosewood. Do y'all want to know about Black Wall Street? Listen, man. Listen, listen. I got you. Let's get it. Let's get it. This would probably be the last of this, and then I'm gonna go into like real content after this one. But let's go into Black Wall Street. Y'all don't mind, do y'all? All right. Because I actually typed this in, but I haven't read it myself just yet. So I will be listening and learning the same time as you guys.
The success of Black Wall Streets, Tulsa, Durham, and Rosewood. 1. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood District, Black Wall Street. Economic success. Built by black entrepreneurs in the early 1900s, Greenwood was a self-sustaining black community with over 600 black-owned businesses. The economy was fueled by banks, hotels, grocery stores, theaters, insurance companies, doctors, lawyers,
I know
and
about the
real
insurance
estate.
companies.
Black Tulsans reinvested in their community, keeping money circulating within the district. Who supported their businesses? Primarily supported by black residents, as
You gotta ask the
segregation
right
laws
questions.
discouraged trade with white businesses. Some Native Americans and a few progressive white allies also engaged in business.
White and Native
Racism and
Americans.
challenges. 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. White mobs, fueled by racial resentment and false allegations, burned the entire district to the ground, killing hundreds and destroying millions of dollars in
Locking us
property.
out of the wealth gap.
2. Durham, North Carolina, the Black Wall Street of the South. Economic success. Black business leaders like John Merrick, Charles Spaulding, and Aaron Moore established the North Carolina Mutual Life
Those
Insurance
insurance
Company,
companies,
the largest black-owned insurance company in the
and they
U.S.
did business with white folks. I know
A
that.
thriving black middle class emerged, with banks, textile mills, insurance firms, and
Yo,
universities.
textile mills.
Haiti
Yo,
District was a
there's something there.
stronghold for black businesses, culture, and education. Who supported their businesses? Primarily black consumers, including
black business.
farmers and professionals. Unlike Tulsa, some white businesses and investors conducted
Yes, sir.
transactions with
They
Durham's
came
black
through.
entrepreneurs.
I know that.
Racism and challenges. Jim Crow laws heavily restricted black economic growth. Urban renewal projects in the mid-20th century displaced many black businesses, leading to the community's decline. Rosewood, Florida, a thriving black community before destruction. Economic success. Rosewood was a self-sufficient black town with a strong timber industry, farms, and businesses. It was a prosperous community, and black residents owned their homes and land. Who supported their businesses?
Land ownership.
Mainly black residents, but some whites in nearby towns traded
Oh,
with
yeah.
Rosewood merchants.
Got a fellowship with white
Racism and
folks.
challenges. 1923 Rosewood Massacre. False accusations
More
against
false
a black
accusations.
man led to a white mob burning down the town,
That's crazy.
killing residents and forcing survivors to flee.
That's
The
crazy.
town was never rebuilt.
Let's go. Let's keep
Madam
going.
C.J. Walker's success and influence. 1. How she became wealthy. Early life and struggles. Born Sarah Breedlove in 1867, she was the first freeborn child in her family after slavery. Worked as a washerwoman before discovering hair care as a business opportunity. Entrepreneurial rise. Developed the Walker system, a specialized method of scalp treatment and hair growth.
Okay.
Founded Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company,
Wow.
which sold hair products across the U.S. Created a nationwide network of black female sales agents, empowering thousands of black women financially. Who
Thousands.
supported her business? Mainly black women
Obviously.
who needed hair and scalp treatments. She promoted her products through black newspapers and employed thousands
Oh,
of
yeah.
black saleswomen.
Let's keep going though.
2. Madam C.J. Walker and Black Wall Street. where she lived in St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, and later built a mansion in New York, Villa
Okay.
Luaro. Her business was based in Indianapolis, which had a strong black business district, but she was not directly in Tulsa or Durham.
Okay.
Connections to Black Wall Street, supported black entrepreneurs, and provided business education, donated to civil rights causes
All
and
right.
the AACP.
Philanthropy,
3. Madam
activism.
C.J. Walker and banking, how
Watch
she
this.
became connected to a bank,
This is a
deposited
different
money
Madam
into
CJ.
black-owned banks and funded black businesses, supported the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, a black-owned financial
Nah, this might be the
institution.
same one.
Did the bank serve white customers? Primarily catered to black clients, but may have had some white
No,
customers
it's a
due to
different.
financial
I
necessity.
think it's a different one.
Conclusion. Tulsa, Durham, and Rosewood succeeded because of black self-reliance, entrepreneurship, and strong community support. However, systemic racism and violent white supremacist attacks often led to their downfall.
Systemic
Meanwhile,
racism,
Madam
not white
C.J. Walker
supremacy.
built an empire through black economic empowerment,
You see that,
proving
right?
that black entrepreneurship could thrive even in the face of discrimination. Would you like an in-depth breakdown of the 1921 Tulsa massacre or Durham's role in the civil rights movement?
No, but I was trying to introduce y'all to Madam Delaney Walker. All right. So I'll do that. I'll do that live right now. Okay, Delaney Walker. So this is let me show you what I'm doing. So I'm typing in live. Her name was Madam Delaney Walker, different from Madam C.J. Walker. Okay, it's on the fly. I should have put Madam. I should have put Madam. Fuck, I messed up. I messed up. I messed up. That was my fault. That was my fault. What? What is there? Okay. Yes. Okay, what do you got? You gotta go poop poop? Okay, okay. All right. So let me oh yeah. I messed up big time. Okay. Let me refine the search. I gotta be careful on my because I got free chat GPT. So I'm gonna okay, all right. So I spelled her name totally wrong. I botched her name. My fault. I botched her name. I got it now. So let's go back. It ain't Madam, it's Maggie. All right. So my fault. My fault. Hopefully I ain't run out of my searches. Hopefully I didn't exhaust my searches. And this is when you guys send me donations, I pretty much pay for stuff like this. This is where the money goes to. It goes to, some of the money goes to research. Some goes to my kid, but okay, there we go. There we go. Maggie. Okay, cool. All right, so give me a second. Let me just walk my son to the bathroom, and I'll be back. Go. Yeah, you go. Come here. You want turkey burger or turkey sausage? Hmm? Sausage. Okay. Yeah, you get turkey sausage. Mm. I'll help you. Go. Go. Okay, you eat turkey sausage. Boom, go, boom. Yeah, I got some waffles. Yeah. I got some French toast things. Yeah. I got something to snack on without cooking. Mm. All right. All right. Give me a second. I gotta do the daddy thing. I'm not a deadbeat. Dig. Mm-hmm. Oh, huh? Okay, go back to there. And then I'm gonna get the phone number in for you guys to call in if Tiger want to call in, and when you guys want to call in, you dig? We're gonna chop it up tonight. We are gonna chop it up. Peace. Kindred, reparations for sure. Lord Maul, peace, man. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Listen, man, Khaled, man. Yeah, Khaled, did you butt call me? Because you FaceTime call me. You will never FaceTime call me. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, that must be a butt call. Pause. You done? Oh yeah, it's done. That's turkey. That's your turkey sausage. Mm-hmm. Nope. It's still cold. It's not ready. Not yet. You done? Okay, come on. Yeah, it's sticky. It's sticky. It's sticky. Good. Boom, boom, good. Oh boy, good. When you put yeah, what I do is what I'm great at. What I'm great at is remixing children's songs, right? Or any song to I can make anything a children's song, right? And I'm good at that. So even like Itsy Bitsy Spider, I remixed that. Made it more. I don't know why I don't put it on TikTok, but maybe I will. But I remixed a lot of those elementary songs like to like hip hop lyrics, but like kids type stuff, and kids love it. Yo, my niece, one of my nieces, she never knew the original One Little Monkey Jumping on the Bed. I remixed that thing so bad so much that when she was singing that thing, she sung my version. I can imagine her going to school. They're like, what? My version was more like fun. There was no bump your head. It was bump your noggin. Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, stop it. Yeah, she was so happy singing that song, man. Yeah, she's like 17 now, 17 years old. But like a lot of my nieces and nephews, like they're grown now, but they remember all of the kitty stuff I did for them, like the remixes. They're all like, they grown pretty much, and they appreciate that from me. Those kitty remixes. Hot. Mm-hmm. It's done. Ah, God, this hot. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hot. Wait, put it, leave it there. Leave it, don't touch it. My fault. I gotta feed him real quick, and I'll be right back with you. Hey, I got a lot of stuff tonight. If I don't fall asleep, I got some stuff tonight. I got some stuff. Go get the chair. Go to the chair over there. Go to the chair. Go, 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 go. What are you doing? Man, come on. Go. Come over here. Come over here. Thank you. Go over here. Go over here. Go. You go over there and you come over here. Come. Come, come. Lay down right here. Lay down. Mm. All right. Mm. You're gonna need water. I thought the water. Fuck. All right. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yeah, I knew you did. I'm like, cause you don't FaceTime me. I didn't learn about Black Wall Street until my 30s. I know I'm not the only one who learned. Yeah, I learned it late. I don't know what age. It had to be close or past. Yeah, I think I learned Black Wall Street around 30s. The Hebrew Negro lights. Yeah, we're at Dottie. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, bro. I'm great with kids. Period. Yeah, I mean, look, man. If I'm around a circle of kids, like I'm going to entertain. Like they all gonna be like, "Yo, bring him back." Okay, so I'm trying to get Professor Small's attention. I'm not sorry, not Professor Herman Smalls. I don't want Professor Smalls because he changes up. I want somebody who stand on something. All right, so I'm trying to so where I'm at. I'm at Maggie Delaney Walker, right? That's where I'm at. Okay. All right, so we're at Maggie Delaney Walker. So most people know about Maggie C.J. Walker, but a lot of folks don't know about Maggie Delaney Walker. Madam C.J. Walker was not the richest black woman. It was actually Maggie Walker. Okay. Uh, Maggie C.J. Walker, the hair products woman, She was the first millionaire, but she was not the richest. The richest woman was Maggie Lena Walker. Okay. So let me bring that to you right now.
How Maggie Lena Walker became rich. Maggie Lena Walker, 1864 to 1934,
Oh my
became
God.
the first black woman in the US to charter and operate a bank, amassing wealth through her leadership in finance,
Bank.
entrepreneurship, and activism. Her financial success stemmed from 1. Banking. In 1903, she founded the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank in Richmond, Virginia, which helped black individuals and businesses gain financial independence. 2. Newspaper publishing. She launched the St. Luke Herald to promote economic self-sufficiency for black Americans. 3. Retail businesses. She established a department store that provided employment for black workers. Did she experience racism? Yes, Maggie Lena Walker faced systemic racism and gender discrimination throughout her life. 1. Segregation. Black-owned businesses, including her bank, had limited
Her
access to
bank.
white financial networks. 2. Economic racism. White-owned banks often refused to lend to black individuals, making black-owned banks like hers a necessity. 3. Threats and harassment. As a successful black businesswoman, she was often a target of racist hostility in the Jim Crow South.
The South, that's where
Despite
we
these
are.
challenges, she thrived and encouraged black economic
That's where
empowerment
other blacks were
to
not.
counteract racial injustices. Where did she live? Maggie Lena Walker was born, raised, and spent most of her life in Richmond, Virginia, particularly in the Jackson Ward district, known as the Harlem of the South for its
Uh-oh.
black-owned businesses. Would you like details on her influence in Black Wall Street or banking history?
Okay. So there you go, man. Unbiased Ron brought you Maggie Lena Walker. Different and separate from Madam C.J. Walker. This is Maggie Lena Walker. Unbiased Ron. You could thank me again. Matter of fact, let me let me put my cash app right there. You dig? I'm telling you, yo, listen, I'm trying to share but be relevant of what I know with you guys, but I research so much stuff, man. Like I have not showed y'all my chemistry videos yet. Just wait till I get there. And I could don't forget, chemistry is what humans need, right? We need chemistry to get along. So the study of chemistry is pretty much that. So remember, you got the single parent home and you got the nuclear family. Nuclear, that's chemistry, nucleus. Okay, so if you study chemistry, you can study how to get along with people naturally. Okay, so I got chemistry videos that goes into that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you study chemistry, you got the science how to get along with people, and this is why I get along with people. Like I get, I rock with Tariq and I rock with Yvette and Tone Talks. Some of y'all pick a side. I don't do that because I know chemistry. I know how to get along with everybody. So I can rock with the Bloods. I can rock with the Crips. So I'm the bridge in how they're going to be unified because I can rock with both. I don't pick sides. When you study chemistry, you don't pick sides. You just learn how to adapt and include everyone and be that bridge that's needed. Okay, so now we know Maggie and Madam Walker and how they both became millionaires and successful in their own right. All right, so I'm confident that you guys knew who Madam C.J. Walker was. I'm confident you did not know who Maggie Lena Walker was. If you did, kudos to you, but I doubt it. That's research right there. That's going into my bag. All right. Okay. So now let's step away from that. Yeah, I want Herman Smalls to respond to me so badly, man. This guy, oh my God, I want to cook him on that Pan African shit that he was talking on Sinetta TV. All right. So yesterday I was going over the Dred Scott thing. I I'm gonna get to it, but it's a long read, so I want to get to the end of it because it's longer than I thought. Because a lot of tethers like to bring this up. Okay, now keep in mind that the Dred Scott case was before the Civil War. All right. So, well, here we go. Here we go. This is what I want. Here's what I want right here. This is the conclusion of the Dred Scott case.
In May 1856, the justices called for the case to be re-argued in December. At that time, George Ticknor Curtis, a Boston attorney, Whig, and brother of U.S. Supreme Court Justice Benjamin Curtis, assisted Blair in arguing the constitutional questions of the case. A final decision was delivered on March 6, 1857. 8 of the 9 justices wrote separate opinions. 7 justices, primarily pro-Southern, followed individual lines of reasoning that led to a shared opinion that, by law, Dred Scott was still a slave. Chief Justice Roger B. Taney wrote what is considered to be the majority opinion, that they had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. Opinion of the United States Supreme Court, March 6, 1857.
So this is when I want to invite Kwame back on, right? Okay, because he was all over the damn place. Give me a second. I wrote down his number. Hey, eat all your food? Let me see. Okay, so I just text Kwame. All right. Let me look at the chat real quick. See if he peeked his head in here. He did not. Okay. All right. So I was here. Okay. So now listen, guys and gals. Listen right here. This right here. Please listen.
Taney's opinion of the court stated that Negroes were not citizens of the
Not
United States
citizens. Keep
and
in
had
mind,
no right to bring suit in a federal
citizens
court.
have rights,
In
not
addition,
non-citizens.
Dred Scott had not become a free man as a result of his residence at Fort Snelling because the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional. Congress had no authority to prohibit slavery in the federal territories. Furthermore, Dred Scott did not become free based on his residence at Fort Armstrong, Rock Island, because his status, upon return to Missouri, depended upon Missouri law as determined in Scott versus Emerson.
Come on. Don't stop there.
Taylor blowed
No. Stop. No. Ain't no tell her nothing. Let's finish right here first.
because Dred Scott was not free.
Okay. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Let's finish right here first.
Because Dred Scott was not free under either the provisions of the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 or the 1820 Missouri Compromise. He was still a slave, not a citizen with the right to bring suit in the federal court system. According to Taney's opinion, African Americans were beings of an inferior order, so far inferior that they had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. Kaufman 2:21. Taney returned the case to the circuit court with instructions to dismiss it for want of jurisdiction.
So this is why I was explaining to Kwame the other day why Frederick Douglass was in the ear of Abraham Lincoln. So remember Kwame spoke on those free black people went to Liberia before the Civil War? And I said, bro, Frederick Douglass established if we fight in the war, it's for citizenship. As you can see, this court acknowledged that Dred Scott was not a citizen just yet in the United States. This is why Frederick Douglass said to Abe Lincoln, listen, we'll fight, help you win, right? But we want citizenship. So henceforth, the 14th Amendment. Okay. So the 14th Amendment can literally be argued that it was for FBAs only. So Donald Trump could be right when he said what he said. And you know what he said. Hi. Yeah, that's a fan. Okay, go right there. Get your cartoon. Okay. So, yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say to folks. Like, listen, man, you come up here and challenge me. Like, you need to know something. That's why I want to, no, pick that back in there. I want to debate a white supremacist like Jared Taylor, who's more studied on American history. So he's not going to make the mistakes a tether would make. And a tether is a specific immigrant, black, white, or Hispanic, that undermines FBAs. Okay? More ways than one. Yes. That's a fan. Good job. All right. Okay. So that was the problem with Dred Scott. So in a nutshell, because I'm him, Dred Scott case was thrown out. We could just simplify it by saying he was not recognized as a citizen. The Civil War and our contributions to the Civil War was to fight for citizenship. So the Dred Scott case was not a failure. It helped spark the Civil War because of you heard the panel, you heard the juror. There's a bunch of white Southerners, right? Or Southern sympathizers. So the North was like, okay, y'all playing that game? All right. So the Dred Scott case helped funnel the Civil War. So they thought they got one off, but they didn't. They took an L, a major L. And chat, only here, the reason why the Southerners and the Southerners today are the Republicans, the reason why they hate us the most, FBAs, not black immigrants, not Hispanics, FBAs, because we literally fought and killed them in the Civil War. They had to look up and look at FBAs with guns in their hands on plantations where we served, and now we're walking around like we have authority, and we did. Okay, so we actually deleted them. That's a memory that go down in history they'll never forget. Black immigrants don't have that history with Southerners. Okay? So it's a little different. Hispanics don't have that history with Southerners. Okay? Any history they got, they took an L, right? You want to go to Texas, they took an L. They kicked Texas ass and took all of the damn territory. California, all that stuff they took from them. Texas, they took an L. We actually won. And this is why they treat us differently. This is one of the main reasons why they treat us different than other dark-skinned people of the world. We have history with them. We deleted their ancestors. That's something they'll never forgive us for. I believe I'm the first person to put it that way. And being the first person matters. That's why you have inventors and innovators go down in history for the first to do something. Sounds peace. Jake Nasick, excellent point. Yes, sir. I'm careful. I'm careful. With my research, bro, I know what's a gym and what's normal, what's common. I know what's a gym, I know what's common. You dig? Because I've been around the block. That's why when I call in Myron Gaines show, Fresh and Fit, the little podcast, I expect to just be prepared to go wherever I need to go. But maybe this week, maybe next week. Who knows? Because I've been live every day, so I haven't put too much research in. But I am gonna call in, whether it be this week, next week, or even next month. Doesn't matter. He ain't going nowhere. But I'm gonna call in when I'm properly prepared because I believe in the 5P, 5Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performances. I believe in that. So I will not call in if I think I'm not, properly prepared to go down any rabbit hole and cook them in any rabbit hole. So yes, when I call in Fresh and Fit, you best believe when I finally call in, I'm going to be more than prepared to go anywhere he wants. And I predict he's going to be quiet and I'm going to be cooking by myself, or what's the other reason? Or he's going to do a Tariq Nasheed rant. Tariq Nasheed is terrible. He's the scammer, all this stuff. He's gonna crash out on Tariq Nasheed, or he's gonna be quiet as I cook. That's what's gonna happen. Peace, power. Uh, yeah. So realistic black folks from the diaspora and the continent, they know that, right? So not every black Caribbean or African is on that goofy shit. It's mainly the online ones, okay? So don't confuse the online Caribbean and Africans with the real life ones. The real life ones seem to be different. They have a different perspective than the online ones. The online ones are dealing with trollism and hatred. Okay, a lot of them just trolling. They know better. They just troll, and some just have genuine hate. All right. So with that, so I talked about DJ COONdemics. It's not much to talk about in Kanye Clan Ye West. Like this is just goofy. It's just goofy. Like I didn't watch more than 10 seconds of this. I'm not giving Kanye West and DJ COONdemics Clan Ye West and COONdemics I'm not. I hope DJ COONdemics channel flops. Okay. So I see a video right here. I'm gonna click this and see what this is about. So Fresh and Fit is live right now. And there, again, matter of fact, let me click it. I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna click it. Oh no. Okay, so Fresh and Fit. Let me tell you something real fast. They got 1.5 million subscribers, but they only have 2,600 people viewing, and they claim they're bigger than Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed got 250,000 subscribers, and he got double, triple the live viewership. Black TBA, the Black Authority. You see his lives lately? That thing be 4,000, 5,000, and he has nowhere near the subscribers of Fresh and Fit. Like, these guys are failures. What you guys got to do is look at the subscription ratio with the live viewers. That's how you know somebody's successful. Okay, and the likes and the likes. The like button is important. Like, if you're live, you need to have as many likes as live viewers. Okay, so let me just. Okay, yeah, so he's a failure. 1.5 million subscribers, only 2,600 people watching. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, yeah, with that many subscribers, you need about 20,000 people watching you live with that viewership. That subscription. That's embarrassing. That means you got a lot of dead subscribers. People who subscribe and liked you at one point, and they're no longer interested, and they are out. And they got another like YouTube personality. They got Grant Cardone on there. And this dude got clearly fake teeth. I mean, it just look crazy. And so they got this guy on there, and the viewership is low as hell compared to the subscription. All right, so this is what I want to play right now. This is on the
Hey
fly.
guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. It's Indagiri here. Thank you guys for the support. Thanks for subscribing. If you've not, please stop a little bit as always and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, in today's video, I will be talking about this topic that I think a lot of us have to really talk about. But let's first watch the videos and let's get into it.
First and foremost, I don't find it inherently problematic for someone to demand respect or acknowledgement of their culture. I want to start by saying that. But this trend in general has sparked this weird diaspora war between African Americans and non-American black folks, and I want to talk about that. I truly don't get why there's an argument about who started this war when there are portions of each community that partake in it. There are African Americans who are ignorant regarding other cultures of black folks. I've seen it. We grew up hearing African booty scratcher. And while that insult was basically weaponized against anybody who was dark-skinned, myself included, at the basis of that insult is the fact that a lot of people believe being from Africa is a negative thing. I have also heard grown-ass motherfuckers assert that there aren't houses or updated technology in a whole-ass continent composed of more than 50 countries. There are also a lot of African and Caribbean black people who seem to carry this air of superiority towards African Americans. Some of you even ridicule us for not knowing our true lineage as though the ship that brought us here...
Which I don't understand at all, because we're in a first world country and they are in third world countries. I don't understand how anybody from a third world country can believe they are more superior than somebody in a first world country. I don't know how that math even adds up, but continue.
There was a fucking cruise that we signed up for. So no, this is not either or, it's both of them. And not only is it sad and disheartening, it's pointless. None of us are liberated or celebrated by these exchanges. And there's no need to argue about which flavor of blackness is the best, because whether it's fufu, jerk chicken, or soul food, we are all expertly seasoned. Period.
You know this little diaspora that the blacks are having again? The AA versus African and the whole, you call me an African booty scratcher and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and listen, man, I even told Tiger when he was on here, I don't believe the African booty scratcher lie. Okay, I don't believe anybody who's claiming they've been called that. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. And you know, it's also a lie is that for every FBA ADOS to say they were called the N word by a white person, that's also a lie. Okay, so we got to stop. For every black immigrant to say they were called an African booty scratcher, that's a lie. And that's why I say, but even then, how is that? And like, what type of level of insult that is? What actually is an African booty scratcher? How is let's go with that. Let's go with the lie. Let's say they were actually called an African booty scratcher. What does that mean? Why would that be so offensive and so, traumatic? Now, to be called the NIGGER word by a white supremacist or a white supremacist advocate, that would be traumatic because we were called that during our lowest time in the country when we were treated like cattle. So you see, like there's some history tied to that all of us relate to. What history do an black immigrant relates to the word African booty scratcher? That's why, like that to me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna waver on my point, on my stance. That's cat. Nobody's hurt by that. If you were called that, you're not hurt by it. Like, what historical ties do you have to that? What in your homeland do you remind you of an African booty scratcher? Like that's an excuse to hate and be disgruntled and envy FBAs. Like, you can miss me with that. Like, I'm good, man. No, and none of y'all gonna convince me otherwise. Now all of a sudden, every last black immigrant was called an African booty scratcher. You're lying. Yeah, when y'all make that claim, y'all are pieces of shit, man. Y'all lying. And again, what historical ties do you have with that word that makes it traumatic? Like, stop. Like, what does that even mean? Go ahead and Google African booty scratcher. You're gonna get like a bunch of different explanations what it means. There's no set definition. So when somebody call you that, what does it mean? Like that you're so, offended. Like, stop. No, fuck out of here, man. And I don't believe nobody even called you that in the first place. And then you in third grade, these 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 folks be 90 years old talking about what happened in the third grade. Like, stop.
Can we talk about the imposters, the calls that were coming from inside the house? Because yeah, that was one thing. Honestly, if you were dark skinned, you was gonna get called African wood catcher. But can we talk about the Africans that were pointing their fingers, calling other people African booty scratchers? You been walking around telling people, yeah, my name is Sean. Your name is Shenwon. You could call me Toby. Toby, like spit it out correct. That was so shame. I remember all the little boys. Oh, hell no, I'm black American. I'm black American. All the little girls. I'm from
There, turn
Jamaica. My
down.
mommy's half Indian. You were claiming everything but Africa. Personally, I see it as, yes, becoming more popular, but it's
Here we
not
go.
that they're accepting us, but more we're accepting ourselves. And because everybody loses the same, you don't know who's African until they open their mouth or tell you their last names.
She's having a very important conversation
And
about
but that was my argument. Like, how do you know listen, man. Like, I'm so far from folks. When I get like people in here, like black immigrants, black foreigners, I would say, how do you know that was an FBA person calling you that? Like she just said, like, how do you know? You're in the third grade. You don't know who's African, who's not. Like, how do you know that was an FBA calling you that? Come on, man. Like, it's the math isn't adding.
diaspora wars, which is stupid. I'm gonna say that up front so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Secondly, if you are a Caribbean person and you find yourself saying, I'm not like them, African Americans are, African Americans do, African American, please understand that that's anti blackness. And what you're doing is perpetuating white supremacy because it's white
They
supremacy.
know that. They know they joined Team White Supremacy, sis. Okay, you're oblivious to that, but they have joined Team White Supremacy. They know that because they believe that that's what they got to do to fit in, thrive in America. Okay, we talk about compromises. Yeah, that's called the let's call it the tether compromise. You got the 3/5 compromise. You got the so many different compromises in this country. The tether compromise is to have the right word. It is to pretty much be team white supremacy.
Primacy that says African Americans XYZ. And if you think they don't mean your Caribbean and African ass, you're doitish. If you don't see them coming for you and you helping them come for you through attacking African Americans, you're not smart.
Yeah, duh.
Do not make an enemy out of a friend.
See, this is the first time I will ever make this video, and hopefully it's the last. Discourse and this diaspora war that we start every week on this app with African Americans and Africans from African countries that reside in westernized countries need to stop. At the end of the day, everyone.
Okay, put a date on it. Okay, look. All right, I'm tired of fucking around y'all, man. I'm tired of fucking around y'all. See, I'm different, man. I would love for these folks to call in. I'm gonna put the phone number out there in a second. Okay. Listen. Look. You dig? I'm gonna challenge you guys to put a date on it. You dig? Yo Gotti, put a date on it. Put a date on it. You talking all this FBAs, ADOS did this, did that. Put a date on it. This African war, put a date on it. I can put a date on it. I know when this bullshit started. It started once we said reparations for us exclusively. That's when that date started. That diaspora war date started. Okay? I don't believe you're going to find a diaspora war before we said the federal government owes us reparations. I don't believe you're going to find a diaspora war before then. If you find a diaspora war before then listen, you got me. I will bow down and say, you got me. But I'm telling you, the diaspora wars came after we said reparations for our lineage only. And then, boom, diaspora wars. If you got better information, help me out so I can stop. If this is a lie, help me out so I can stop saying this lie.
Who is black and from African descent, it doesn't matter if their parents are from
Yeah, he's zesty as hell, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm not, he's not on trial. I don't judge.
Africa or they are from African descent are Africans. And we need to stop coming on here and invalidating each other's identity because we're the only ones that come on here and do that 24/7. We don't see any nationality doing this. It's embarrassing. African Americans are from African descent, from lineage, from a dark history that led their people there.
Lineage.
End of story. If they want to know which country they're from Africa, they can do a DNA ancestry test if they really want to find out which country.
Yeah, but that the country doesn't matter because you got tribes within the country. So again, Nigeria, okay, you got a bunch of tribes. So the country is not going to matter as much. The white man named the countries. The white man is who organized or unified these tribes in Africa. It's the white man who named the Yoruba, Igbos, and all those folks Nigerians. They did not have a unified umbrella until the white man came along. So the white man is literally credited for unifying a lot of these African countries. They were all tribal until the white man said, shit, I don't want to hear that Igbo, Yoruba, y'all can't work together. The hell you can't. I need this oil, and you going to deliver this oil. Y'all all Nigerian. Screwed all this Igbo, Yoruba, and this and this and that. Nah. Y'all all Nigerian. And give me this damn oil. Now.
in Africa they're actually really from, for their own personal assurance. But who cares about all of this? Black people is the only race that comes on here and fight to claim everything every week. For what? Please stop fighting and creating more divide between your brothers and sisters. Look at your skin color. We all come from one part of the world. Embrace it and stop this
All
nonsense.
right, now, now a guy like him, I want him to call in. Like, dude, call in, man. Call in. Yeah, I would love him to call in.
So these things that are happening where we have diaspora was, first of all, I don't know who starts these trends, because Africans participate, African Americans participate, Caribbeans participate, you know.
Okay, spoiler alert. Black immigrants started this trend. Listen, man, I'm gonna be real. Listen, I'm not trying to screw it. I'm just gonna say we live in a first world superpower country. We are not thinking about Italians in Italy. We're not thinking about Germans in Germany. We're not thinking about Africans in Africa. And we're not thinking about West Indians in the Caribbean. We got blinders on over here. Okay? Black Americans wear blinders collectively. We don't think about everybody else outside of America. Chinese, North Korea, Russia, we don't think about you guys at all unless there's like a war or a crisis. We focus on this country only. We do not think about what's going on in Africa at all. And like maybe we should. That sounds insensitive. I get it. And I won't deny that. But we don't think about you guys at all. You guys think about us because you're in third world countries. You're looking over here in America where you want to be, and you're seeing black folks over there. And it's us. That's a fact. We don't think about anybody outside of America. We have blinders on. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just telling you the truth. We don't think about anybody outside of America. We don't give a goddamn. But they are looking in from the outside because they want to be here. That's a fact. That's why their countries have brain drains once their elitists come over here. So I'm just gonna be real. We don't think about these folks at all. We don't see you. We see what's in this country, and that's it. Because it is, whether you don't like it, it is the greatest country in history. Right? There's no country greater than America. Right now, Iran don't want to comply with the nuclear protocol, whatever. I don't know. But America said they got to comply. They're not going to sit back and watch Iran develop nuclear weapons. So if the Iranian government does not comply, I suspect, I don't know much about this, it's not my lane, but I suspect if they don't comply and they continue on their nuclear weapon campaign, whatever, we're going to blow them off the planet. Okay? It's just that simple. We're not going to let them develop nuclear powers to be another threat like China and Russia. I believe if they continue without complying with us, we are going to blow them off the planet. Okay? Anyway.
Everyone actually participates, and then we start also blaming ourselves when we literally amongst our people do actually participate in these things. And it's funny because it's like we are doing this job for our other races to actually see us fight ourselves, because it's really showing anti-blackness. Because me from Africa is seen the same way as you in America, in Europe, Asia, or everywhere on this.
No, you're not. No, you're not. And stop that. I'm gonna stop that lie right now. No, you're not. We are the only blacks to actually delete and win a war against Europeans. Okay, which was a civil war. So they have a unlimited hatred for us because of that. You don't have that history with them. Okay, you don't have the all of the things that they deprived us from. They burned down our cities. That's not you. So you don't have this passion that we have for these folks. So they do not see you as a threat like they see us as a threat. Okay, that's why Barack Obama can be a president. That's why Kamala Harris can be a vice president. But talk to me after an FBA person is vice president or president. Talk to me then. You dig? Talk to me then.
Planet, we are all seen the same way, even if you are mixed or biracial. So to come out with these wars, us attacking each other, and imagine other races are like, okay, so they are doing our job for us. That is amazing. Like you're hating me, we are hating each other.
No, ma'am. You are doing their job for them, not us. We are public enemy number one. Make no mistake. Okay, your country is not a threat at all to America. Stop. You're third world at best, probably fourth, fifth world. Stop it. Stop it. You're not a threat to America at all. Okay, let's stop that.
African lady did that video. Yeah, don't call me African American, I'm African. But at the same time, you are not living in Africa, you're literally living in America. So basically, you are African who is living in America. So you're African American,
Wait, back it up.
basically, you are African who is living in America. So you're African American, actually, if it makes sense. And then
Exactly, and that's why we reject that term. We say no, because you're right. That person is an African living in America, so they're technically African American. Thank you. That's the point that we're trying to make. That's why we're FBA ADOS free American, okay? Freed Americans or American freedmen. That's why we're that. Because as long as you're an African living in America, you'll never be an American freedman. You'll never be an FBA or ADOS. Okay. Thank you for establishing that. We agree.
also the Caribbeans, they attack African Americans as well. Like, when these people come, they are like this or culture, whatever. But we are still the same people. And the same way, when Africans also go to the Caribbean, we are also treated the same way because we are not seen as people who have sense as they've taught you. So it's like we are literally fighting ourselves. And this is what these other races of people want to see. And this
Now I agree. I agree with that. White supremacists definitely want to see black people globally to be off code. Okay, so that is a fact. That's a fact. But you guys gotta stop. Black immigrants gotta stop adopting white supremacist talking points.
is why I always come out and say, these things have to stop. Because at the end of the day, like the lady said in the second clip, she said, no matter where you go, as long as you're like this or seen like this, it doesn't matter. You'll still be you'll still be seen
I disagree.
as someone from Africa, and
I disagree. Again, you're from Africa. I'm not. Okay, my ancestry is in America. Jamaicans are in Jamaica, Barbadians are in Barbados, and Haitians are in Haiti. Okay, so let's kill that lie. And then, like I said, we actually have been harmed firsthand directly from white supremacists in America. They understand that we're going to want to get back one way or another. So they are never treat you like they treat us. That's a fact. So you can kill that.
As always, I always tell you, I'm not forcing everybody or anybody to come to Africa if you don't feel it. Always, I'll say it in.
We're definitely not going to Africa. Ain't shit over there. Okay. Okay. You guys are dealing with all type of shit over there. All right. Corruption, famine. Listen, that's Africa is the furthest thing from an FBA ADOS mindset. Okay. We're definitely not going over there as long as you're there. Right. If we can control and dictate what happens, maybe we go over there. But as long as you guys are in control of these countries, we'll never go over there. Kiss that shit goodbye.
Every video, every time. If you feel indigenous, wherever you are, stay there. But to those that feel like we are one person, let's stop fighting. It's not helping. Like, it's really draining us and it's causing more division. We do not need that in 2023. We need to do better. All of us, Africans, African descendants, because at the end of the day, we are still under control by other races of people. It doesn't matter. I mean,
It does matter because your race of people become team white supremacy when you come to the America, the United States of America. So nah. And like I said, what country are you from? I guarantee your government is corrupt. So there's nothing to talk about. Fix your government. Jamaicans don't even vote. They said like when Jamaica, there's like a 30%. I don't know if Tiger knows this, but 30% of Jamaicans actually go out there and vote because their politics are so goddamn corrupt. And if I'm wrong about 30%, just correct me. But I'm off the top of my head. I believe it's 30% of Jamaicans actually go out there and vote because they believe the fix is already in.
African Americans also, yes, you have a bit of privilege, but you're still under control. We Africans also, yes, we live in the continent, we have all these things that we own, whatever, but we are still also under control, actually, a lot even. So it doesn't make sense
Yeah, but we are outnumbered. You are outnumbering them. That's a big difference.
to me. It really needs to stop, guys. Let's start loving ourselves. Let's start pushing ourselves. Let's stop, let's not even get into these things of fighting. It's not really taking us anywhere. And I think that's all I have to say about it because these ladies actually gave everything they had to say. And I actually think they're all right in whatever they said. So let's do better, Black people. Let's connect and love each other. So guys, thank you so much for the support. Those who came from TikTok, those who came from Instagram, those who have already been here, it means a lot to me. And everyone who's supporting what I put out, this content that I put out, yeah, it comes from my soul. And I just feel proud and thankful that you guys actually embrace it and you listen to me. But also, I would like to do more, right? Like, I want to interview like most of you guys and my people as well. Like, I want to move around and just show you an interaction that we actually need because it's in my plan. Like, we
Or
need.
you want to interview? Okay, hold on. You speak my language now. How about I interview you? Yeah, how about that? When's the last video? How about I interview you? Now you're talking my type of language. And she looked totally different without that damn makeup.
Have a little bit of energy because what I'm sharing is really, really important. And I mean, I love this lady, the way I
Mm. And that's why I try to tell you, man, I need the support. Like people gotta come to the channel, man. Come back to the channel. Because when I send an invitation, they're gonna look at my views. They want to know who is watching this channel, how many is watching this channel. Okay, that's why I need you guys to pull up. Uh, hmm. I'm reading something. Damn. So Dred Scott ended up becoming free anyway, but it was like a bunch of bullshit went down. A bunch of contract by a bunch of paid wages went down, and Dred Scott was eventually set free. Okay. Black Peace, Day Peace, man. FBA Vin. Shanty Towns. Yeah, I don't plan on ever going to Africa. Now, if I go, fine, but that's not something in my bucket list. Okay. The way I look at life, I'm like, I'm in a first world country. Why the hell would I voluntarily go to a third world country? And that's just not Africa. That's any third world country. That's just my mentality. It's like I'm used to certain things. I'm used to plugging things in the wall. I don't want to plug converter. And but that's also goes to like Europe. I don't want to go to Europe either. I don't want to adjust to third world countries or a lot of Europe is like shitty. So that's just me. Like I rather just be comfortable the way I am. That's not good or bad. It's just what it is. Herman Smalls did not respond. At least not tonight. I want that guy so bad. Pause. He's a Pan Africanist. All right, so let's go here now. Let's get rid of that one. Let's go here. All right, so this right here, what you're looking at, this is Africa cosplaying as America. Okay, this is the video. Well, this is the thumbnail of the video that got me suspended for 20 something days, 3 weeks. Yeah, yeah, definitely Europe is that. Yeah, and look, once I said Africa, I thought about Egypt. So you're right about that. Jake, now I thought about Egypt. Like, maybe Egypt. So I definitely thought about that as I said that. All right. So let me go ahead and go to the videos now. All right. So you see this thumbnail right here? This thumbnail is Africa cosplaying as America. All right. So let me go ahead and do this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on, load up. What are we doing? Let me change. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me change my thumbnail. Take it off Kanye West, that coon. I made the thumbnail what you see on the screen. If I could find it. Okay, I got it. Okay. Okay, I just changed my thumbnail officially. I'm like, yeah, I bought no snack. I got no snacks. I got no chips, no cookies, nothing. Yeah. It's why. Who does that? Let me go to my playlist. Hold on, hold on. Okay. Playlist and okay, so which playlist was it? Okay, I think it's Unbiased Live. All right. Okay, so now we about to hit into some heavy stuff. All right, this what got me suspended for 3 weeks. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out where did I save this at? Yeah, I think it was just the other one. Yeah, I'm tripping. I got it. I got it. I'm doing too much. Here we are. I got it. I'm here. I'm here. Right here. We're here. So the question is America trying to low-key replace us with black folks from the continent? Okay, that's a real legitimate question. All right, let's go. Okay, so now let me just let you know this video is 10 years ago. So this is before ADOS, before FBA. So there's something I've noticed for the last couple of years. Let's read the captions. We have seen a strange evolution during the last few years regarding the representation of Black people in the media. So, okay, so, all right, again, this is before FBA, before ADOS. There was no ADOS FBA 10 years ago. I first thought it was a coincidence, but it became clearly obvious. Have you noticed that we have never seen so many prominent Black people who are not Black Americans? Interesting viewpoint. Yeah, I gotta play this.
We are in a great deal of turmoil when we think about the names of Mike Brown, of Tamir Rice, of Eric Gardner, and even now of this young man in Phoenix. The country is concerned about, can we trust police? Are we safe with police? My first question for you is, in the midst of this and all that's going on.
Okay. Okay, that music gives me flag. So Barack Obama, the protest is of Kenyan descent, but he considers himself Black American, but he is not a descendant. He is not a descendant of African slaves. So 10 years ago, this person did not know about the term FBA, Foundational Black Americans. He was not familiar with American freedmen, and he was not familiar with American descendants of slaves, ADOS. But he knew that Black immigrants were different than us. You know, we're similar, but we're different. So he said Obama is from Kenyan descent and he's not a descendant of African slaves. So you see, he called it African slaves. He didn't say American slaves. So you know, this goes back.
Administration feel you're responsible for making an impact on?
Well, I think an enormous amount. Not just because as
That music playing in the background, I can't let that happen. Okay, he said, I've seen a lot of new Black actors lately who actually are not African Americans. He's not saying Black Americans, but are African immigrants. So he's showing a distinction between FBAs and non-FBAs, but he's saying African Americans and African immigrants. I don't have a problem with Africans, but when they are getting roles and jobs from African Americans, that becomes a effing problem. Anyway, I'm gonna fast forward. So he's just gonna show non-FBA blacks getting um, awards and things like that for playing FBA roles. Let's go back. And he called them new blacks are more and more promoted in Hollywood and everywhere else in American society. So the maker of this video felt like America was trying to replace American descendants of slaves with Black people without that past, without that history. So he said that those blacks are promoted in Hollywood. So much so that they are now threatening African Americans because they can pass for Black Americans. Interesting. They came to America and register as African Americans when in reality they're not one of us. So this is called delineation. This is 10 years before Tariq Nasheed, right there. 10 years, right there, 10 years. This is before Tariq Nasheed or Yvette. This black guy is realizing, he's realizing that there's a cause for delineation. Last time I checked, Lupita Nyong'o was praised by African American women for being dark skinned, but she's not African American dark skinned. Play in the okay. So he's struggling trying to differentiate between foundational Black Americans and non-FBAs.
It was beautiful.
Oh, my fault. I put it on mute. So Essence Black Women in Hollywood, February 27, 2014. Now look how old this is. This is what, 11 years before where we at now. Oops, that was a mistake. Have you noticed that we have never seen so many prominent black people who are not black Americans? So, what the person trying to do is that made this video, he's trying to show that there's an agenda and maybe more than an agenda.
Turmoil when we think about the names of Mike Brown, of Tamir Rice, of Eric Gardner, and even now of this young man in Phoenix. The country is concerned about, can we trust police? Are we safe with police? My first question for you is, in the midst of this and all that's going on.
So that music. Okay, so Barack Obama, the
An enormous amount.
right, so you mute it. So Obama explaining. How this whole thing. I've seen a lot of new lady who actually are. I don't have a problem with Africans, but when they are getting roles and jobs from African Americans, that becomes a effing problem. So these are their wars, cosplaying as if being winning certain wars. So more videos. So black actress, that's all she is. The new blacks are more and more promoted in Hollywood and elsewhere in American society because they don't have that bloody history like us. They can come to America and register as African American when in reality they're not one of us.
about being a black actor, a black person in the public gaze right now is that everything you do has to endure a scrutiny that my white peers don't have to endure. I have to, you know, when I open doors, that door, the minute it's open, it starts shutting unless there are more people coming through to blow the hinges off.
Okay, so right there. All right, so I gotta kill the. I don't know how the music is playing. I thought I muted it. So nobody, all of this was one person. That dumb absolute stuff. Okay, so now this right here, I want to back this up right here.
I was like 13 years old.
Really?
Yeah, I had a goatee.
Wow.
You didn't?
I still don't. It's still a problem.
Okay, I had that music. Give me flag. According to the 2010 census, African Americans represent no more than 3 million American people in America. African American is probably similar to FBA. It throws me off. All right, you know what? Let me do this because I'm not gonna read all that. I'm not supposed to. Chad Smith. Am I being heard now? Let me see. If I could be heard, put, I guess, sound or press one. I don't know. Chad Smith. Okay, I'm being heard. All right. Oh, let me see if Kwame texts back. I text Kwame. He might be tied up tonight. Let's go back. So I don't. So the video I'm playing, you're not supposed to hear it because that's how I got, I believe, suspended last time. Mhm. Okay, so these are just black immigrants who were selected to do track and field, things like that, basketball. But she played Coretta's King, which was disrespectful according to their standards. Okay, so that's Case Wade talking to this guy from what was the HBO series with the jail? So that's where he's from. I can hear. All right, well, let me finish up on this video because So, he just showing people who switched up. The new blacks don't work with us. They create their own little synagogue in New York, Little Ethiopia, and Los Angeles. Okay, so that's either fact or fictional. Like I already said, we have no friends in this world. We are alone, and we must stop trying to be friends with everybody when nobody wants to be friends with us. He could have shortened that up. Yeah, this is stuff for later right there. Oh, you can't see, you can't see my screen. My fault. I watched a video on Sergeant Willie Peace Channel of a male tether begging a bunch of Cro-Magnon Neanderthals and to leave it was, yeah, that's crazy.